Hi. What's good, fam? Yes? It is a beautiful Saturday now afternoon. Apparently the sun is shining outside, but I'm blinded by the brilliance in here. So thank you for your light. You are fucking obligated to shine all day. Gravity doesn't move in slow motion. I'm holding a glass full of almond milk, or like kale, carrot, apple, ginger juice, or whatever. And I fuck up, because I'm a little klutzy. And there's an accident. Or I'm running up the steps because my daughter says there's somebody on The Voice that I gotta come see. And I missed a step. Accidents happen. We sometimes miss steps. Similarly, our country has had an accident. And everybody's tripping. Zing. There's a disproportionate amount of life coming at us collectively, almost violently, and it seems like my primary tools for parrying it are social media and my values. Values like personal agency, or authentic collaboration, or abundance, or boldness. Against the specter of what sometimes feels like constant threat, would I dare to weaponize my values? These are deep emotional questions, and to be honest, from the outside, I wouldn't expect a place like this to consider them with any urgency. There's something about built capital, its opulence and austerity that doesn't scream out of the people. But people make this place go. People with dreams in a turbulent time who do a lot of fly things and make a ton of mistakes. So, back to accidents. I believe we balance them with systems of purpose. At YBCA, we propose new systems of trafficking ideas inspired by art. Today's summit is many things. It's a celebration of 100 people, organizations, and movements that have inspired the people that work and engage within YBCA's community of staff, fellows, youth, board, and members. It's also an experiment in how we position art within the scope of leadership. We're a contemporary arts center, and by mission, the art we champion is meant to impel our public to reach. Perhaps more critical than the question of accessible art is the urgency of accessible leadership. As I'm reaching out to art, I want it to come towards me as well. I want the same of the leaders among us. I want burden-free imagination and ethics that connect to the basic nodes of humanity. Can an art center find those people for me? And if not, why the hell do we have art centers to begin with? If you get really close to that question, it might feel like activism, but really, probably, it's just citizenship. Today's work is for everyone in this room to exercise some civic muscles while in the midst of some sexy-ass cultural brainiacs, while in the cultural space of Steve Jobs and Meredith Monk and ODC and Sankai Juku and Ted Women. Big brain stuff happens here. Stones of hope from the mountains of despair. Ideas that escape these walls and become practice. The feeling of screaming in a jar until something inside you shatters and sets the scream free. That feeling happens here, where you sit. Shouldn't we be a place for convening? The YBCA 100 is how the people that work here have set to animating our responsibility to convene, provoke, and center art. We've chosen people to instigate us today, and through your presence, you've chosen to hear their call and immediately respond. As Flash Friends, we'll generate a bunch of questions together today. Those questions will inform YBCA's programming moving forward, but more importantly, we hope that this summit provides some materials for us collectively to move forward, for us to be more radically public, to demonstrate an appetite for messy, to reject the notion of culture as cul-de-sac, to activate our kindness and acknowledge our fragility. Today is one more middle finger to paralysis before the scale of our challenges. We want to access our leaders. Well, look around this room because you're with a bunch of them. There are also dozens upon dozens who aren't here. I'm sure most of them are somewhere doing something dope, like YBCA 100 honoree Jose Andres, who couldn't be here this afternoon because he's feeding 1,000 people a day on the island of Puerto Rico, which is like more than the Red Cross, yeah. Literally, he and his team are feeding more people in Puerto Rico than the Red Cross has since Hurricane Maria decimated the infrastructure on the island. So my question for you is, who will rebuild the moral infrastructure of this country? Who will rebuild the moral infrastructure of this country? Well, let's start with the architects of that project. If the YBCA 100 honorees who are present could please stand as you are able. YBCA 100 folks, honorees, could you please stand as you are able? Thank you. See, we didn't quite have the lighting cue thing happening, but you know what I'm saying? They were dope. They're dope. We're all just a little bit more appealing in the dark. You feel me? I'm not sure, but I think great art asks great questions, and great design answers those questions. So our design as an art center is to identify incredible people, invite them to catalyze inspiring questions, engage our community in the refinement of those questions, and then respond to all of the above through our curation, our convening, our civic coalitions, further inquiry, and project incubation. As Samora so beautifully sung, welcome to the process. Depending on where you're standing, it might feel like preaching to the choir, or it might feel like galvanizing the committed. In service of a broken moral infrastructure, there will be bridges built today. Building new pathways may require that we mute our privileges. Building new bridges requires that we can disagree from a place of love. Is this a forum for everybody? Yes. But to be clear, I'm not building a bridge where I'm over here with my basic safety and humanity intact, and somebody else is over there with corrosive, destructive, or pathological behavior, and we build a bridge and meet halfway. We're not doing that. So thank you for your energy. Our gathering here is not an accident. We're here to be curious, and we're also here to have some joy. Can somebody say joy? Joy! Awesome. Well, mediocre. Can somebody here say joy? Joy! Excellent. We are here to be curious, and we are also here to have some joy. So in that spirit, I want to bring on 2017 YBCA 100 honoree, one of the more spirited, curious, and exemplary people that I know as a conduit for joy. Her name is Zara Norbash. Please welcome Zara to the stage. Thank you.